We're on now. Hello, Josh Kermond.
Hey, Brian Schneider. Brian
It's
H.
nice to see
Schneider.
you. It's nice to hear you. There's two different, some people will listen, some people will see.
Mm, mm.
Um, I wonder if I accidentally, there's this button. Everyone, the people who are listening, maybe they know, but there's a button that you can turn on or off to say, hey, I'm live, or don't tell people that I'm live.
Mm.
And I intend not to spam my network a lot. But if you
Yeah,
see like 10 people show up here, it's because I accidentally didn't.
click the button.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if like people start throwing you hard questions, or there's this one person in my channel who's clearly not the person that like the images of, and they like say hi sometimes, that could get uncomfortable, but like more for you, hopefully, than me.
All
I'm
right.
like, I have learned with Substack that you want to, you probably want to have a paid distribution. You want to give the people you really know, like paid subscriberships, and then your chat is just people that you want in it.
Right.
But I am hoping I don't have to do that for as long as possible, because the people who follow or subscribe are just so with it, They're just like, oh, we don't want the community to go to
Off the
pot.
deep end. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
It's followers only in Twitch, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever the equivalent is, right?
So your life is quiet, but you have 18 children. Is that right?
I only have 4 kids. 18 would
Oh,
be,
okay.
how many? 14 too many.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have I said this to you? Somebody told this to me, and it's resonated with me. Like, the only insane amount of children you can have is one more than you already have.
Yeah.
So for some people it's zero. For some people it's four. You have 2 kids.
Does it get easier with four? Like, do you have like some kind of magic recipe that makes it so much better than like I have two? Is it easier with four or harder with four?
I think some parts are easier, some parts are harder. So, like, the easier parts are there's a lot more just like interfamilial play. They just like they'll come up with stuff and just get into it, and then they can have little pockets where 2 people are doing something, 2 kids are doing something else somewhere else. So that's really great. But that also, like, interfamiliar fighting also happens, and then it's not just 2 conflicts. There's sometimes it's a 3 or 4 sided conflict, and negotiating that can be really tough because
Wow.
you're appeasing one, but then that's upsetting the other 3. And so many times where, you know, I have to make unilateral decisions that like makes nobody happy, including myself. So, but yeah,
Would
no,
you
it's
would
good.
you would you like to be president? Like, you're describing what a proper president should do. They should listen to like 4 or 5 different sides,
Yeah.
and then try to make a decision that takes into account all of those things. Would you like the job?
No, no. Well, let me couch that by saying, I think the stakes of the decisions I'm making are like what we're going to stream on Netflix, right? And so at the end of the day,
Oh,
if I
yeah.
make a bad choice, it's like an hour, 2 hours that we might have wasted because I was like, oh, we got to watch this Miyazaki film, kids. You're really going to enjoy it, and they don't, or whatever that is. I mean, actually, Miyazaki they usually typically enjoy it, but like it's not like we're going to war or now I've like thrown the world into chaos. It's very, very small stakes. So, president of the family, I think it's a hat I don often, even though I defer to Katie, my spouse, quite a bit more.
As you should,
Yeah.
to be frank. So, like, what show do you pick more often than not? Like, what is the Netflix show of today?
Ooh, Demon Slayer.
Demon
Yeah,
Slayer?
Demon Slayer. It's an anime based on a manga. I think I'm not the expert in any of these, so I might be like butchering terminology here, but I think it's in the shonen category of manga where it's like, people going through a journey to get more powerful and usually to right some wrong. This one's about a boy whose family's killed by demons, but his sister
Yeah.
is turned into a demon. And so everybody wants, all the other demon slayers like, you got to kill her. And he's like, no, she's going to be fine. We're going to get her right. And it's his journey to try to discover what it means to do that. And we're really early into it. So it's like, I don't know, a bunch of seasons. The movie just came out this year and did really, really well. So we're early on it. It's probably a little bit too old for my youngest kid who's 6, but because she has her older siblings to kind of like rally around.
She's really 26. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is the other downside I think of having like kids is my youngest kid is by default almost like as mature as my oldest kid in my mind, but not in reality.
Mhm.
So a lot of times when I'm
Mhm.
picking media stuff like stuff for my eldest kid who's 12 now, like I'm like, oh, when you were 6, I would have never even considered this. But now it's like, oh yeah, okay, this is all right. And so there's a little bit of like just rapid exposure that's happening where everybody's kind of getting
It's
maybe,
over.
yeah. There's been a,
Parenting is over.
yeah. Right. You're just gonna deal with this, and if you end up sleeping in our bed the next week because it terrified you, like, all right, that's the cost we pay. Um, yeah. No,
I'm just
Demon
lucky.
Slayer. Yeah. How about
Demon
you?
Slam.
Yeah.
You know, the musical for our school is The Descendants.
Ooh.
And my oldest daughter, is going to do every play that the school ever does for numerous reasons. One,
Okay.
she really likes the play. Two, she really likes not doing a sport. She's very strategic about it, but not strategic enough to not tell us that's like part of the reason.
Yeah.
Um, so, so the Descendants, they need to learn a lot of the songs and they need
Right.
to know the characters, and so we've watched a lot of that. But just last week, I got them to shift to The Simpsons, and so
Oh.
we've watched 5 episodes of The Simpsons, and they're like, "This show is funny and addictive, and it's so stupid, Dad." And you're like, "Yes,
Yeah,
it's
just
so
wait.
stupid."
Yeah.
It's like not stupid at all.
Where did you start?
One.
Really? Okay. Wow. All right.
Yeah, the 3rd episode is oddly dark in retrospect. Like Homer like threatens to kill himself, and that was a little bit like, wow, I didn't remember that. That's
Yeah.
not like a normal cartoon I would show my kids, but like it's redeeming in the end. He decides to live. So thanks, Homer, for that
It's a
life
wonderful
lesson
life.
that
Yeah.
my I've forgotten that children could learn in that.
Well, there's also, like, a lot of, like, Homer, like, throttling Bart, like, throttling, I should say. Like, him just, like, the full the
Yeah.
choke scream or whatever it is.
Well, it's really an opportunity to say, look how far we've come. We don't do that. We've never done that once. Like,
Yeah.
wow, we are special.
Yeah.
Um, Makes them appreciate home,
Yeah.
which is good. So who are you? How do we know each other? That's something that at 7 minutes in, people are like, "What is going on?
Oh.
Who is this guy? Who are you?"
Well, I'm Josh Kermond.
Mhm,
I go by Kermond a lot of places online.
mhm.
It's an Australian last name, so it's largely been invented
Oh,
in like the last, 200 years, 300 years.
hmm.
So I get to like, because I was, of the age where I was allowed on the internet when the internet was still kind of new, I kind of squatted everywhere I could on Kermond. So, uh, like Kermond.com is a domain I own. So yeah,
Oh,
that's been, I've been in games for most of my adult life. I just kind of happened to fall into it after stumbling out of college, or, more like failing out of college. And then, yeah, I had a really good run through like East Coast game studios, particularly around Baltimore. And I
mhm.
ran into you at Zynga. You were coming from Serious Business, which
That
was
is true.
like one of the better acquisitions I think Zynga made in retrospect. And yeah, we think we've been friends since.
Yeah, I remember you. I was working on Treasure Isle, and you
Mhm.
were working on Cityville, and Cityville was not launched yet, and Treasure Isle was launching before it was ready to go out.
Yeah.
And so you always seemed kind of like calm and happy and very happy to watch us like suffer in the
Mhm.
gallows. And you were kind of one of us, but like you didn't have to suffer with us. And then like a year later, I had to join you on Cityville, and then you totally had
I
our
laughed.
face.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you
yeah.
had the gallows face though. Like you
Yeah.
were like, "What the hell is this?
Launching
What
is
have I
terrible.
done?"
Yeah. No,
Yeah. How?
it was a good experience.
Yeah.
But I think I got to like we when like, you know this better than I do, but when Serious Business came on board, like the team was kind of divided into two parts. We
Hmm.
got half the folks that came to do Cityville. Actually, it was like originally they came on to do like a more graphical version of Mafia Wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that was like the early. We probably spent like a month and a half trying to like. 'Cause we had two GMs that were on from Mafia Wars, Justin Sinicolo and John Paul Dumont, and they had just come fresh off Mafia Wars. It was making a ton of money at the time. They're like, we can do a better version of it because look at what Farmville's doing. I think that was Farmville was out and live at that point. It has a graphical user interface people are getting really excited about, and we can do something like that. And so we made like a prototype that had all these appointment mechanics that was Mafia Wars esque. And I think the first like week I spent researching like Law and Order episodes to try to like get plot to put into the game. It was very silly. I wish I still had those Google Docs of those write ups I made. It's all pre generative AI. You could just do it for me in like 30 seconds. So I spent like a week doing that. But then
I,
we
I
yeah, go ahead.
I have a question for you.
Shoot.
So, CityVille, the project in the studio, over the year and a half it was relevant, or 2.5 years it was relevant, had what number of can you name all the GMs or leadership of the studio over the course of its life? Do you
I
think
could
you
do
could
the
do it?
intro. I couldn't do
Yeah.
beyond
Well,
my
yeah.
departure.
Let's let's do the best we can across both of those because it's like it was really only a couple years maybe that like it mattered.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
when people hear how many heads there were, it will
Mhm.
like tell a lot about Zynga culture in a way that's impossible to understand unless we go through it. Are you start?
Okay, well, the project started under right, Justin Sinicole and John Paul Dumont. Like we like take that once they scuttled that Mafia Wars graphical project and they didn't see life in it. Um, Somebody else was making a city building game. I think it was like Playdom, maybe Social
Mhm,
City. That was the name. Social City, and it's super like simple, like you know plow plant harvest, but as city mechanics. And they just, you build this little city that has trinkets running around. Uh, and so we started working on that. And about 2 weeks in, Mark Skaggs, I don't know if he was asked to join us or just what he wanted. Like there was some push to get him on the project to like get it out quickly.
mhm.
Because he had just come off like the success of Farmville and shipping that and that the blowing out to be a huge success. Um, and so then Mark Skaggs joined John Paul Dumont and Justin Nicolo as a sort of like triumvirate leadership circle. And that lasted for about a month before, or maybe 2 months before Skaggs kind of took over, and John
You're
Paul
for
and
what
Justin went
what
somewhere else.
what happened to Sean Kelly in there? Sean Kelly was the GM for a time, right?
Yeah, so after John Paul and Justin leave, Skaggs is there for a bit, and Sean Kelly had been working on this like
I hadn't gotten there yet. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he was working on some I think it was like a club thing, like a
Vegas
yeah.
City?
It's
Yeah.
like a Vegas. It was some. They had this like the tech was really well done for the time. Like in Flash, they had this sort of like it wasn't quite 3D, but it had this cool rendering they were doing, and it looked really cool. You kind of bring your friends into a dance party, but that got scuttled too. And then Sean and his team had nothing to do. Skaggs had all the ambition in the world and wanted more people, so we pulled in like his crew, which were I think there were I don't know if anybody from Serious Business came in, but it was like another essentially Sean Kelly's crew
Yeah,
was another like
Alex
oh, what was it?
Alex Lay came in, right?
No, he was from Serious Business, but
Yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Kelly like had his crew that was like another startup-y thing that we brought on.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Manlio, and another guy, I can't remember
Hobbs,
Brett
maybe?
Hobbs, yes, Brett Hobbs,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so he was really tight with them and they came on board and started helping us build City. So now we had like sort of 2 GMs again, with uh
So far, you're about 6 months in probably, and you've had 4 different leaders.
yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep
Anyway,
that
sorry.
tracker running.
And we got Dave. Well, he's not a GM, but Dave Gray. David Gray came in from Farmville, and he was like Skaggs' right hand man, and
Mhm.
like did a lot to get the project done. Like I think like if Cityville would not have launched if not for David Gray. I think a few other like I could have been ejected. I think a few other people could have been left the project, and it would have been not worse off for it. But David Gray really pulled it across the finish line.
Mhm.
And that's when, like, so I was there when I left. I think Sean Kelly might have been departing at that point, and Skaggs might have been looking somewhere else. But they were
No,
still in
this is I
France
can
when
take
I
over
left.
here.
Yeah, and then you came on board.
So so Kelly is the GM, and then Skaggs is gonna take over. Kelly goes to mobile, but, like, I don't know that Kelly wanted to go, but he was, like, fine with
Mobile,
it.
yeah, pivot to mobile.
And then and then Skaggs got deposed, and then Steve Parkus came in.
Yeah,
And then Parkus was like, "All right, I'm going to build my empire," and no offense to uh, and
got to do
so,
it.
like yeah, no, and so, like, Scott Konigsberg takes over, but I actually think Scott took over before Parkus. So, you have, like Scott eventually gets deposed, even though he's a really sharp guy,
Yeah,
and then, Parkus takes over, Scotty takes over, again, he took over twice, and then Alan Patmore took over for a day, and, like, on his resume, he says he was the head of
Cityville, yeah.
CityVille, but he was, like, for a day and then got deposed. Um, and then, after that, it's, like, hard to remember.
Hmm.
I don't even think we had a GM after a while. It was, like, a couple people at the top that just ran the thing, and so it was, like, 10 people over the course of, like, a year and a half
Yeah,
or
yeah,
2.
yeah,
It
yeah.
didn't make any it was like, "What the" anyway, that's what management was like on projects like that. And you're like, was that correct in retrospect? What do you think?
uh, so I think this is all hindsight, of course. Like,
Yeah,
one of my, and it's not even a regret, but one of the things I didn't realize at the time was like how much maneuvering was happening behind the scenes. Like I was really naive. It was my second game industry job, my first sort of like West Coast tech job.
you were
So
happy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a certain point in time in CityVille's development where I looked over at one of the PMs who's working on the project, and I'm Chris Hahn, I want to say the name,
Yeah, yeah.
and he like also a brilliant guy, like also pushed the project forward really quickly. And I looked at him
Really good.
and I was like, "This is not how you make games." And I said it like just like as I was like being fully hollowed out from like moving as fast as we're moving and like being just that like the creative endeavor does not does not march to the pace that we were on. And Chris is like, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how creative we are." And this is this is not what Chris is saying. This is my interpretation of it. He's like, "It doesn't matter. We can just we can just take what somebody else has done and put it in this framework and it's going to work because like it's working right now." And I'm like, "No, you got to like think about it. You got to be creative about it. You got to do." And it's like it at the time and the speed we're working, it didn't matter. So you could just like move forward with what somebody else has done and build upon it and expand upon it because everything was greenfield in front of you. So if you spent 6 months thinking about what does the story mean in Cityville, what is the plot, it's like you were already behind the curve. And I think a lot of people coming in from the games industry to the space didn't realize how much of just this was like a tech play and it wasn't a creative play. And
It's a finance company, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that was the brilliance of Zynga. And I didn't realize at the time of how like much we just needed to move quickly and not care about the creative aspects of it because it didn't matter in the long run. Um,
It wasn't that company. It was a
yeah.
finance company. It was like, hey, there's an opportunity to.
Yeah.
It's not that different from Roblox. When I see Roblox, I think, oh, this is just like PlayStation and Xbox, but lower fidelity and worse, but with better social, right? You're like, hey, you could play it anywhere, and it's just the same games.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Zynga was thinking the same way. And it's funny that people see Roblox as kind of a noble thing when it's really just the same thing over and over again. But
Yeah, it's hard for me to look back on that and like really and hate on it because I think for me it also opened my eyes to like the breadth and the scope of people that play games. And this is something that at the time I was very myopic and like people that play games are like me. They're white
oh yeah,
dudes in their 20s that like have more free time than they do money, and this is how you spend your time is like being really getting heads down on whatever it is, a first person shooter, an RTS, and like that becomes your social, like, your social outlets, everything, and it just like, oh man, grandma's playing Farmville like I play StarCraft, but it's very different games, but they were getting very similar outputs from it. So like, oh, this is not like I was very small and narrow in thinking what it meant to be a game player and a maker of games. So the goodness there is I think it expanded my horizons there and just looked at like what the possibility space is in games and how universal it is as a sort of a human language.
what game that you've worked on are you proudest of?
Ooh. There's it's the first game I ever worked on was Rise of Legends. It was a
Okay.
spiritual successor to Rise of Nations, which was an
Hmm.
RTS that I think it got a gold master version. Sold millions of copies during the peak of the RTS as a genre that people played. I was really proud of that, but I think it's like rose colored glasses because I was new. It felt really cool to be in games. There was a very much monoculture of the development team because we were all again like they looked like me and acted like me, and our work was our life, was our work, and so it felt really good working on that game, even though it was a huge flop commercially.
Okay.
uh, so I think like that, like I'm proud of that, and it got me into the industry, and I made lifelong friends through working there. And so that I look back on that one, I'm like, this like the fact that I did it and we shipped it, and we I moved through QA to design to being like you know a, a balance lead. Like it all sort of like felt like the foundations of my career and why I'm here today talking to you is because of that game. So I feel good about that. I don't know if that's exactly like a full answer. I don't feel fully satisfied by that, but
How
that's
long have you been making games, Josh?
20 years.
All right, I know what your goal is for the next 20.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. There's in prep for thinking about this, like and talking to you, I was like this is like another one of the big huge things because for folks that don't know out there, like there's plenty of great talks like Brian Reynolds did and other folks about like Big Huge Games as an entity. But to do the quick summation point of it, Big Huge was like a spinoff of Firaxis, and Firaxis was a spinoff of Microprose, and Microprose is sort of this like OG 80s PC gaming company making strategy games, mostly like flight simulators. But it just spawned this entire sort of industry, at least around the Baltimore area. So everybody that works in Baltimore has been in games for more than 10 years, has some sort of Kevin Bacon way back to Sid Meier at Firaxis. And so I bring this up because one of the things when you're working at Big Huge, like you look at the arc that the founders had, and they were like working at Firaxis, or some of them even worked at Microprose, and then left Microprose to go help found Firaxis, and then they left Firaxis to go found Big Huge Games. And this just felt this natural way of working in games where like at a certain point in time you build enough skill that then you start your own studio and then you make your own games, and like you put your flag on the map there. And that was at least my cohort that came through Big Huge. That's what we thought, and we'd all talk about what it would be like when we had our own studios and do it. And the closer I've come to having the experience to do that, the farther I've been from like the actual reality of like, oh, that's so much work. That's beyond me. So I think that there's this funny like push and pull in the expectations. If you asked me 20 years ago, what are you going to do in the games industry? You'd be like, oh, I'm going to found my studio and make my own game. And 20 years in, now I'm like, what are you going to do in the games industry? It's like, well, I'm just going to try to stay employed.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with what you said. And you just said it so well that hurt. Yeah, so it is a hard time in the industry for sure. It's been interesting. It's been funny to watch. Not funny, like not really funny. It's like,
yeah. But there's not to like totally dark cloud all of it, but there is like the games that we're making as an industry are better than they've ever been. I think the genres we're expanding into, the play patterns, like some of them are amazing, and I couldn't even imagine 20 years ago. So there's goodness in all that. It is just the realities of it are like, it's getting both. I think it's getting harder as it's getting more accessible too.
yeah, distribution or marketing is incredibly challenging now, right? Like, how do you connect with the market? How do you build like things that a market wants? How do you compete with free? Free is probably the most damaging thing, where it's so hard to compete with Amazon in like the retail sector. Competing with Fortnite and Roblox is really hard. And so all those factors, it's interesting because like some of these companies run at a deficit for an incredibly long time. And we'll see if they always pull out, right? Like the economies don't always go up. Sometimes they retract. So if Netflix has a lot of debt, right? We assume they'll be there forever and strong, but
who knows?
Yeah. Like, we certainly don't need them. They're not a company we need. They're just a company some of us enjoy. So.
Yeah, they do not make a critical good.
Exactly. They are not too big to fail.
No, they're not.
Well, cool. So you worked at Zynga. How did you play Magic? It seemed like you were one of the people who like suffered through my early version of the book, and you were like, hey man, do you want feedback? And then you gave me like the 95 theses of feedback, and I like added it all in like 30 seconds. I was like, fine, I'm just going to add it all. You're right about everything. But like, did you understand the Magic parts? Because how deep did you get down Magic? Yeah.
No, I played Magic quite a bit when I was younger. In my like, it was my preteen days. Let's put it that way. Like I got into Magic after the initial wave. I think like I collected like during the Dark. I think like the Dark was the expansion set. It was out when I was like first collecting, and then I was pretty into it. And one Christmas, I got like a box of boosters for the holidays, and I was like super excited about that. Except the box was for the Fallen expansion, which I don't know. It
was bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was really disappointed me. Like it kicked me out of Magic for like probably a decade.
Yeah, everyone hated that set. It was not liked by anyone.
I just remember being so excited and like opening all the cards and I had them all laid out like on my floor, like every one that in the set. And I think I almost got a full set. If not, I got close to it. And I was like, man, all these aren't that great. Uh, and like, because I came from like looking at like thinking it'd be like Arabian Night or Legends, all the Legend stuff. And like it was like all these cool cards. Even the Dark had like cool cards. And I was like, oh, these are just okay. Trying to make a Spore deck or something. And I was like, this is all not. So that
I think,
I left Magic
yeah,
after that for a bit. Yeah.
sets that like don't take a lot of time to develop. It's interesting because everyone's kind of thinking, oh, how do I use AI to make great games? And like all the sets that like are made really fast, like Cold Snap and the Spider-Man set, they're all terrible. Like they're not good. Like if you don't have enough time to like have humans making sure that the content is good, like the content's not good. And so that'll be a really interesting to figure out if we can codify what good is in a way that we can replicate, or if like
Yeah.
we're still going to need people.
Well, let me ask you this because I think this talks to an earlier point about like the speed at which CityVille's developed and like taking because we took the quest line from Frontierville and essentially just like cityfied it to put it in the city, but one to one, like you were doing the same actions at the same beats. Do we just new coat of paint on it? But that worked because of the time and the speed and the energy. But is it because it's digital and Magic has like a print form and there's no way to change it? Like in CityVille, if the quest wasn't working, we could just change do it, update a parameter somewhere, and now you're no longer, clicking on 5 restaurants, you're doing 2 restaurants. Make it easier, whatever
Mhm.
that is. But in the print form, you're like, that's it. The print it's out there, it's done. So
I
do
mean,
you
nowadays they'll make changes on the fly, but they've been making more mistakes, it seems like. So
okay,
they're like putting things out, but they're banning things more, and it's a bit irritating, I think, to the audience, from what I can tell. So also, like the person who was probably best at balancing the game, like ended up not being at the company, not because of anything malicious, but um, just so it's
Hmm,
yeah, it's ended up being kind of a thorn in the side, having to make the stuff quickly enough to sell a lot of it. Sometimes, like the sets that get like the most attention are the best, and the ones that don't. It was something we saw with Choices too, right? We acquired Choices at Series Entertainment, the interactive story app, and we had people who could write stories that were pretty, or generate and write stories that were pretty good,
right,
fast. But the best stories were the ones that were handcrafted and ornate, and those performed the best. And there's not a way around it yet, unless and nor should you necessarily want one. It's not
right.
like we need infinite content. We already have infinite
Yeah,
content, right?
yeah, yeah.
We need like a world that functions well, that's governed responsibly. We don't need infinite noise. So,
No, we
but
don't
yeah,
have infinite attention. Yeah.
yeah, we don't have infinite attention. Like it'd be nice if we talked about what we were doing sometimes, as
Yeah.
a 8 billion or 9 billion
Like
person
collectively?
population. Yeah, like hey guys, what are we trying to
Like what?
accomplish as a
Oh,
species? Like, we're here. What are we doing? Does anyone ever think, what are we doing here, Josh? This is your opportunity. Like, what are humans doing on the earth right now? What should they be doing?
what should they be doing? Okay, that seems like
Yeah.
a different phrase question than what are they
Well, it's
doing?
different. You said you wouldn't be president. You'd be president of the household, but I didn't like,
Yeah, yeah.
this is a different level of scope. You can be bigger than president. Like, what does
Uh,
Josh Kermond want to see out of humans?
okay, okay. This
Yeah.
uh, caveat this by saying none of my thoughts are original thoughts. Like I read something and then like that's whatever is in my head as of late, and I just like I'll read something new and then that's the new thing that's in there. So none of this is
Mhm.
original thought, but like I think the internet as a whole has amazing as it's been for distribution and amazing as it does to sort of connect us all together is bad because it essentially exposes the terrors of the world to you at your doorstep when they're not your concerns. And it
Yeah.
doesn't mean I want people to ignore tragedies that are going on in the world and to let them happen without doing any have any recourse to them what they're doing. But there's a lot of things that go on in life that we read and we have absorbed that are like hit us and interact with our days that don't actually have anything to do with us and like can be detrimental to our lives in ways where if you just didn't know about it, you wouldn't matter. And so, it's hard to like tease that point out there, but there's so much that goes on in your local community that you also ignore because you don't see it because you're in your little bubble, learning about some conflict on the other side of the world and being upset about that instead of like being upset that the crosswalk that's down the street from you is like on a timer that's 5 seconds too short, so old people can't get across it or getting like hit in traffic, which is like a example from my neighborhood. Uh, and and so I can go out there and protest the war that's happening across the world, or I can work to make the crosswalk at the intersection safer. And I think if
Yeah.
more of us worked on the crosswalks, we would be better as a whole. And we just need to like just continue to move that from bigger and bigger levels. Because I think when you look at it from far away, it's easy just to sort of throw your attention there and there's just no output from it. But looking at something really close to you and being able to make effective change in there, like it can really, you can snowball that in ways that you can finally, get to the far away thing. I don't know if I fully believe all that, but if I could change anything, I would get people's attention to their local communities and investing more in them, and not worrying so much about the other far side of the world.
I tend to bias that way. I tend to think community first. It's like I respect the people who like invest in their communities really heavily abnormally. And
Mhm.
it's actually one of the reasons that like I'll be talking to various people who helped build the Magic community over the next month or two. And I think they were like, we didn't appreciate them enough. Um,
Mm.
and so like in the book, I'm like calling out people by name. It's like, hey man, thank you.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like, these people like who build these communities and help actually like sustain them. I mean, people are a pain in the butt. Like
yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah,
not redeeming as a species, right?
yeah.
So like
Individually,
when
we can be great, but collectively, we're probably pretty terrible. Yeah.
yeah, so the people who like took the hits and just like, you know, it wasn't just for profit, like putting on magic events, right? You have to actually like it, I think.
Yeah.
So you have to take those hits.
Well,
We see it with school, right?
mm,
Like contributing to
mm.
the school is like really rewarding and just taking it for granted is bad, I think.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. Fully, fully get that. I do think though that Magic had a structure around their social, like the Friday Night Magic is something I point to a lot in different ways of like they had a structure by which they said, "Hey, if you're going to participate in this, here's a way you can do it," but then you kind of have to run it yourself.
Mhm.
Um, but it gave rewards back to communities that were running it effectively, and like all and you know better than I do on all this, but the Killer Queen is like a video game that requires a lot of like socialization getting together, just like Magic does. Um, but it never incentivized the structure the way that Magic did, where it's like, hey, if you do this and you report it this way, then there's a league structure and you can talk about the little region. And Killer Queen has done this all on their own, where they have their own little communities that come together and form to make tournaments, whatever. With like the a slightest bit of organization from the makers of the game, like they could have been so much more effective in how they did it. Instead, like the community has to just like pull it all forward, which is again the heroics that the individuals do are great, but as a scene, it would have been so much better if they just had a few guardrails that helped like set the structure up and gave and paid that back through just acknowledgement of like this is the number one ranked Killer Queen team in the nation or in the continent, whatever it is that I think everybody's sort of striving for in some ways, and just helps kind of again that virtuous cycle of like building a larger event next year, so more people come in, so then the community gets larger, and you just have like this snowball effect.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm inventing that based on the GDC talk I saw on Friday Night Magic.
No, that's totally fine. That's actually a lot of these I feel like the internet is a lot of times moving information around
Mm,
um, so that the people who need it when they need it hear it. It's
yep.
interesting to see how repetitive a lot of the social networks are because I ignored them
Yeah.
for like 20 years. Um,
Yep.
and they're just people saying the same thing. There's like a beacon of like, you know, don't just try to eat vegetables, and that's their message. They just say, try to eat vegetables, try to eat vegetables. And, humans benefit from that, especially the whole self-help industry, I guess, just repeating themselves over and over again. It's not like people have changed that much in the last tens of thousands of years. I guess, the way we operate as a group has changed enormously, but
Mm, mm.
the underlying things we deal with, it's like,
The underlying anatomy hasn't changed much. Just like it's all
that either.
the
Yeah.
same, the same gray matter. It's just processing different inputs. Uh,
Yeah, for sure.
maybe not.
So what do you want to do next? Like well, I don't know what you've been doing. What have you been doing? I know
I
you
work.
did a bunch of other games, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, we worked again together at Captain TV
Yeah, it was
for a
fun.
while. After that, I did like a really hot stint Warner Brothers games out of Boston.
Mhm.
And I think they're still working on the project that was on there. I think it's in soft launch. And then I spent a year at Second Dinner working on an unannounced game there with a big IP. All really, great teams, good experiences. I don't know what comes next. I think there's like the dream of like, oh, I could do something. So actually, I'll say this, and this is one of the reasons why I gave you so much feedback, is that anytime somebody does something that I think is like, individually creative and out there, like you put yourself out there by writing that book, right?
Mhm.
And also I think you have a knack for storytelling. It's very, enthralling that way. Like whenever somebody does that, that's in some like a friend group or somebody I know, like I'm like 100% behind it because it's something that I like aspire to, even though I don't think I have the chops to do it. So I like in some ways I feel like I'm trying to like glom onto your forward movement and pull myself along with it. So I was really
Yeah,
happy to
I
give you a
mean,
lot of feedback.
when we were on Cityville and you were leaving, you were going to Baltimore to work on Frontierville, like,
Yeah.
you wrote superlatives. You wrote, like, a little, like, goodbye message basically to everyone on the
Oh,
team. Do
really?
you remember this? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I wish I was like, "Do you still have it?" And,
I
the answer is
don't.
no. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you wrote this whole, like, thing, where
Oh,
you
wow.
wrote a little, like, creative story about the accolades that each person essentially, like, earned while you were working with them and the hopes that you had for them.
Are you sure there was somebody else? It sounds
It was you, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I would bet strong amounts of money that it was you.
Uh,
I remember it, I was like, "Oh." I didn't know if the one for me was like a good one or a bad one. I was like, "Is he putting, like, a rock in my shoe at SOB?" Um, anyway, we survived. We IPO'd.
yeah,
Hopefully,
no, you did.
you didn't sell at $2. You
I
held on for
I
the
did not. No,
$12.7 billion.
I
Yeah.
held on. I mean, my Zynga stock converted to Take Two stock.
Oh, congratulations. That's
I held on
so
that long.
awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I was, like, out immediately. Like, this is something where, like, if you had people working there who were running the businesses and they saw what was going on and they didn't sell right
Yeah,
away, they should lose their, like, position as running a studio.
yeah.
And there were definitely people who were like, "It's gonna go up from here." And I was like,
Yeah,
"You are
yeah,
not the right person to do your
yeah,
job." So, yeah, there were a couple of us that, like, got in before. The interesting thing about the Zynga stock was, like, it started at 10 for sale.
yeah.
There was this special exit for privileged 5 people at $14,
Right, right,
which,
right,
you
right.
know, I don't know how that's legal, but
Yeah.
whatever. Congratulations, guys. And, it dropped to, like, $2 or something, like, almost immediately,
It
right?
closed at like 7 day one or something. I remember being like, "Oh, that's not terrible." But yeah, I without divulging names, I know a bunch of people that put in what there's some form you can put in that allows you to sell in essentially blackout periods if you do it long enough
Yeah,
in advance. And they had filled out such a like they're like, "Oh, it's going, it's all going as soon as I can do it. Like as long as
yeah,
it
yeah.
vests, I'll sell it." And they probably did the best out of everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that period of time. I was like, it was very interesting because the Facebook IPO was coming and it was like $25 to buy these
Yeah.
shares. And so if you just sold your Zynga shares at the right time and bought Facebook
Facebook
shares at the right time
shares.
or Bitcoin. Did you buy Bitcoin? I did not buy
Uh,
Bitcoin.
okay. So my story for this is there was a guy at Big Huge Games that was into crypto like in 2018, 2017,
Mhm.
2018. And like you talk about it and like Ethereum and like sort of the DAO contracts that were happening. And I was like, I don't get any of it, but like, why don't you go buy some Ethereum for me? And I put money down on his desk. And he would go and make the requisite purchases. And a few of us are doing this in the office, but it was all through him. Um, and so at a certain point in time, when sort of the boom started happening, we looked at like the amount that we collected. We're like, oh, we kind of have a little pot of money here. What do we want to do with it? And we mistakenly like we transferred it from like in straight ether to some DAO contract that then got hacked. And so we ended up losing like half of our value like overnight. Uh, in, in some just like, it all felt like funny money anyways. But then like as a net result of it, like, then he's like, "Okay, well, we have all this left over. Let me just, like, calculate how much you probably have based on the amount of money you put in." So, like, we got that back, and, like, I got into crypto that way, but it was never, like, it was never a meaningful, like, financial investment, but it did it amounted to tens of thousands of dollars in ways that I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty good." And just, through other, investments now, I probably lost another half of it too, and through just gambling it, by buying whatever tokens came out at the time. Like 2020, I just had a lot of spare time to invest, which is really just gambling.
Yeah, the Cityville team, I remember some of the leads buying it in 2011,
Oh
and we
wow.
were we were integrating it for payments in 2011 so that people could pay for things in Bitcoin when who the hell was doing that, right?
Ugh.
So like I remember people on the team basically being like, "I'll put $1,000 into this," and I'm sure they're like retired now.
Yep. Yep. That would be great.
Yeah, but you already had enough risk going with the Zynga shares. Like, how much risk do you need?
I want very little risk in my life.
Yeah.
I It's not investment advice, but I would just, put it on something where you don't have to think about it. What's the bogglehead investing? As be put whatever money you want to put away there and just don't think about it because it's the end of the day, like it's going to go up. Historically, I cannot predict the future. uh, or the last couple of days is any
You will
indication.
not be taking Jim
Who knows?
Cramer's job. You will
Yeah.
not be.
Oh, yeah.
You have lost that job right there.
Yeah. Right.
Uh,
It's going up. I got it. Oh, it's the Kermond buy of the day. The S&P 500. Oh, it's down. It's down 10%. If I could
yeah,
be down 10% today.
I don't know.
The
I
news
don't
out of
even look.
Davos.
Oh yeah, I mean it's really like odd uh time.
Yeah.
This is Sell America. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's like it's pretty clear like we've been sabotaged or hacked, right? Um,
Yeah.
like I mean, come on.
Well,
Uh, yeah.
I mean the bright side I like to look at is like, oh, what interesting times we live in.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's
The
like,
naive bright side.
I mean, in your local community, things are probably just fine. So
Mm, mm, mm.
that part's really dissonant, right? Like
Yeah, that
like I'm like, oh, the school community is really happy and the kids are growing.
yeah,
And so like what's reality even? The
yep,
stories that come out from the top, obviously we would rather not have like the president with a dirty diaper like be in charge, but you know, that's what we decided.
yep,
We have to live with our dirty diaper
yep.
president.
Democracy is cuts both ways. Yeah, no, I think, I think we will learn a lot. As I'd like to, tell my kids, when accidents happen, they happen. They're always gonna happen. It's what you do next, how you clean up, what's your next step, like, move forward. So
and
that's
at
where I
least
think we're at.
and at least in this case, like the diaper's there, right? When the mess
Yeah,
happens, right? It's like, oh, it's
one hopes.
designed in the safety for that.
One hopes there's not just a bigger diaper to put on top of this one.
I do like that metaphor. I like that quite a bit.
Uh,
All right, how do you feel about Captain TV? Like, what remains for you? Like, if you're thinking, oh, these are the feelings when Brian says Captain TV, this is what I felt. What is it that you feel?
uh,
Censor yourself.
yeah, no, community. I mean, I have
Yeah.
like up on my top shelf. I've got like a mug somebody sent to me. Wait, let's see, like, point
Mhm,
it. Uh, of the Cityville mascot and TV head guy. Um,
mhm.
no, Captain TV was a great time. Captain TV was like the second time in my career where I felt like, oh, I'm doing something that's meaningful and important, and that could change the world. For the times where things were going well and we were
Oh, yeah.
growing, it felt really like impactful. I think my recruiting pitch when we were trying to hire folks was like, oh, it's a rare win-win-win where we're succeeding as a company. The people that play our games are enjoying them times, and the streamers that are using our games as ways to grow the community are also winning. They're like, hey, look, everybody's doing well, and it's still a free to play game. Um, I don't know if that was entirely true, given how much money we ended up spending. Sorry, investors, but at least at the time, it felt really good.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you and I have talked about it a bunch, and Brad mentioned it on the channel. It's like if we just invest in one game, we end up in a very good position, right?
Mhm.
Or at least we put ourselves in a chance to build a business that's scalable and profitable.
Yeah.
Um, are you going to work in a like venture backed company again? Like, how do you think about like your next opportunity and how you want to approach it,
Uh,
or the profile of the company you might want to work at?
yeah. Well, mercenarily, I think, and this is actually like when I after CityVille, actually after WB in my latest gig, I kind of felt that there's a good chance that the rest of my career is spent hopping from place to place to place. I think that
Yeah.
there's a high likelihood that that's how things turn out, where I join a company at some point in their arc and I leave it at some point in their arc that, like a year or 2 years later. I don't think I don't think I have the wherewithal to do another Captain TV or even Zynga for that matter, or, Big Huge 2.0, where it's like, oh, we're here at the ground and we're going to try to make this company that's a lasting foundational thing that's going to be around in 20 years. I think for me, I don't have that energy anymore.
Yeah, I know.
so, without sort of limiting my space of potential where I'm going to go, is really like, how does this fit in my life, and does it pay enough to do that? We're at this spot personally, and this, not getting into too many details, where like Katie has my spouse has been watching the kids for 12 years. This has been like her full time job, and we're getting to this tipping point now where it's no longer a full time gig for her, and she's like looking at like, all right, well, what can I do next? And the benefits there is that takes a lot of pressure off me to be the sole income of the family. So I could take a job that isn't like on this sort of arc towards more responsibility, more money. I could just take one that I could do well, and succeed at. So I think that's kind of where I'm going to shake out, but we'll
Yeah.
see. I
I don't think it's crazy. I don't think everyone has to win out all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
um, if we don't build a society that allows people to like not burn themselves out all the time, I think that we're doing it wrong.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny. I've always thought you were a really good creative leader, or
Hmm.
like you do this production stuff, but you're also a good creative. So I've always wanted you to work like on a more creative project where your instincts allow
Ooh,
you to do more. Yeah, it's
you
like,
take notes
you
here.
know, no, personally, it's like, let's do coaching. I've already done that once today, and who knows how that
I'll
went.
do it again.
Yeah.
Creative
Yeah, no,
project.
you're talking to me a bit about like, hey, like you wrote this book and you're doing this weird calls.
Yeah.
It's actually like the most fun to do these calls with people. But
But this is so
um,
exciting, Brian. You're out there, you putting yourself out there. You had to dig in the past and expose it to the world. And that's really awesome. Like, more people should do this, I think.
and I think you should do it.
I,
Having done it, it's more. You're actually like charismatic. You kind of walk around with a glow. You even have a glow right now. You look.
I
You
went
look.
running before this. I'm just out of breath.
I was like, hey, man, what if you were God and you were the one who made the decisions for all the humans? Like,
Yeah.
I keep putting you on this pedestal. You're like, you don't want to be in a startup, but I'm like, what about that one? Would you
Yeah.
play God for us, please?
Yeah.
Um, I think, yeah, I would love to see you work on a more creatively bent project. It's interesting because you've been kind of landlocked, right? It feels like, well, not entirely.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people are
Yeah.
working more remote, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
No.
know. You're a good creative person, and that's kind of what you're saying by like appreciating other people who are doing creative things. And
Mm.
so, when you left San Francisco and you went to Baltimore, you were like doing like putting on trivia nights and all these like really fun things. Do you remember
Uh,
yourself?
yeah. No, I do.
Do you-
I do. I recently wrote some for MagFest, if you know what that is.
I've
The
heard of it. Yeah.
music and gaming festival that happens in Harbor, the National Harbor. Yeah, I have some here. Do you wanna do a little trivia? I don't know if we wanna end with that, or, like, I have my note
Oh,
cards ready. It's
I
like
don't know.
video
I mean,
games.
I'm gonna fail. We can, Corey and Mike. Do you guys want to do trivia?
Oh,
There's some
yeah.
folks live. Yeah.
Feel free, you
All
can
right.
put in
Let's
the
let's
chat.
do it.
Okay.
Hmm.
We'll start with, like, a very easy one, which I ripped off from Jeopardy, which is most of my trivia. I rip off, like, the categories from Jeopardy.
Hmm.
Um, and this one's called Stupid Answers. Okay,
Okay.
stupid answers. In the Super Mario series, Luigi's brother is named this. Don't think too hard
Mario.
about it. Yeah, Mario. Yeah. Stupid answer. In the Metroid series, Samus Aran fights these globular space parasites.
Oh, I don't remember that game. I did beat it when I was like 6 or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
but I don't remember the names of anything.
The names of the space parasites:
Metroids, I guess.
Yes, Metroid is correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the stupid aspect of it is really helping me. These guardrails give me a chance. Like, there's a whole
uh,
gaming Substack that will like
yeah.
be like, thank God this guy has played a game and isn't just making it all up. I'm not an AI. I actually played.
Yeah.
I I can follow the rules well enough in this attention-starved time. All
Okay.
right, come on, one more hard,
One
really
more,
hard one, like
one
just
more
like those
stupid
last
answer,
two.
and then we'll all right. Ryu and Ken fight it out in the street in this Capcom classic.
Wow. I'm gonna like fake like I'm thinking about it. We'll do like a 30-second pause in poker. I'm gonna stand up
Oh yeah, do that.
and
Yeah,
circle.
you're already
My
all
I'm
in.
like
Yeah.
you can't read my face or anything. I've got to like snip my own armpits just to make sure. Is that what they do in poker? I don't know. I hope not. I'm gonna say Street Fighter.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So
Yeah.
like, I feel like you're. Yeah, I mean, you're obviously a good community builder. Or do you do community building there? Like you're
I've been
tied to.
I joined the IGDA Baltimore board this year,
Oh,
with
that's a
the
pretty
hope
big deal.
to try to grow it a little bit. I mean, Tronster is like the emeritus board member who is a much better community organizer than I am, and so I'm hoping to learn some lessons from him. But as my wife Katie puts it, a lot of it is just like showing up. Showing up a
Mhm.
lot, and then you are regular and you're friendly, and then people will glom onto that. So I gotta show up more.
So yeah, Tronster is a childhood friend of mine. We met as teenagers before Magic was even a thing, and he was the community builder for our
Yeah.
bulletin board groups in the 1990s.
Oh, your
And
BBS?
like, yeah, he is that guy. He is the guy who builds the community and keeps it going.
Hmm.
He's not allowed to retire, even if he's retired.
No,
He's
he
that guy.
can't. Yeah,
There's a guy at our school who's been painting sets for 15 years, and like he can never leave, even though he has no
no,
children at the school.
yeah. We had
Be
a guy.
careful what you're good at.
We had a guy running the soccer league. My kids joined, whose kid was like in college, but it's a soccer league that ends at like age 10, because nobody else is like stepping up to do it, and he was competent at it. I think he liked doing it for a while, but then by the end, he's like, somebody else take this. So now Katie runs it.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. We'll be that people in 10 years' time. We'll see. But no, community building's
Hmm.
hard, but it also is not as hard as people think too. Uh, yeah.
What games do you play with your like spread of humans?
We've been getting, I mean, board games have been like a big pull. Over the summer, we got, and I'm gonna blank on the name, the Lord of the Rings trick taking card game. Actually, that might be what it's called.
Okay.
Uh, and it just goes through the plot of the first, like the Fellowship of the Ring, but in like a format where you have your cards that are themed to the characters. So you'll play as Boromir, or you'll play as whoever it is, and then Boromir's thing this time is he has to take like this trick, or he has to he can't take the ring, he can't take any of the ring tricks because then you lose, because Boromir shouldn't take the ring, or Frodo doesn't take the ring tricks, then the cards that have rings on them, then you lose. And there's different ways to win it. So it goes through this whole story arc of the first movie, or sorry, the first book. And you get to play different characters, and like kids got really into that because they could play it, because it's trick taking. You just like put a higher or lower card. There's a little bit of strategy depending on who you play as, and some rounds are actually pretty hard, and we had to like, kind of somewhat cheat our way through a few of them. But that was really cool because it got into the whole like card game and trick. What is trick taking games? And then chess as of late. My daughter's in like the chess club at
Hmm.
school, and
Okay.
so that's been like going around, and I've been uh, probably playing way too much chess on Duolingo. They have chess.
Really?
Yes, they have a learn chess, but they put in like a
Yeah.
live,
Yeah,
play somebody.
they'll just be putting games everywhere. Like LinkedIn, you're like looking for a job, can't find one. Just waste some time here.
Yeah.
Like Duolingo, just waste some time. It turns out people really like to waste time anywhere they can.
Hey, I'm not
Um,
wasting time. I'm playing a game that gives me agency, and rewarding outputs. And there's a recent book that came out called The Score that talks about how games are so great at like giving people like validating feelings about the time that they spend. Because I put this time in, and then I get like a score as a result of this time, and like that's how I can measure how. It's like that's good, but also, man, maybe it's not good.
and yeah, we'll find out in 30 years when
Yeah.
someone responsible is in charge. Hopefully, if anyone can be responsible in 30 years.
Well, okay. All right. Well, let me we're talking about 30 years from now. Let me ponder this question for you because it's about games and what you're going to do with your time in a world where all your wants are taken care of because of the infinite access that we have with AI unlocks. Let's assume that all happens.
Mhm.
How do you spend your time? Like what is it that you do if you are no longer required to work in the classic sense? And I think games, as we know them, are a really great way for humans to pass the time in this a world of abundance we may or may not get to. That's shared equitably. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I mean, nothing seems to be tilting in that specific direction now. It's like it feels like war everywhere on purpose. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
let's just like if China could do it first, we have to do it first. That same like fear-based everything.
yeah.
Yeah, but if we do get there, I still think it's build and enjoy for community, whether it's games
Mm.
or content or media, sport. Uh, but I don't know if that will happen. I do think like engaging with the community and like creating meaning through those interactions ends up being a big part of it, whatever the medium. That is different than playing games on LinkedIn or Duolingo.
I,
Um, yeah,
I'm always challenging another person in Duolingo, so I'm getting that through a screen connection. That I feel great when I win, and I feel
it's
hollow when I lose.
it's not learning language with friends. It's
No, no.
consciously avoiding the thing that you go to Duolingo for
Yeah,
and
yeah,
socializing instead. It's you
yeah.
know the definition of productivity.
Oh, exactly, exactly. Well, so those are the two games playing with kids. Oh, we got Munchkin at
That's a good
Game
one.
Swap. Yeah, and the
Mhm,
kids are into that. I think they're like, there's a few of them that probably will tilt more towards D&D than I ever was.
mhm,
And like they've asked me to like, DM certain things, and we have like oh, uh there's like sort of a Dungeons and Dragons game where you play as magical kittens. And I've DM'd that for them a few times, and it's like, man, it's a whole like skill set that I feel like the people that tap into it, like, oh, that's really it's valuable because it feels like working in for me at least, it felt like working in a team in an office where you're like, oh man, by you like storytelling, getting people excited about it, you can like pull out all this creativity from folks. Uh, I don't know if like people that DM D&D feel this way, but that's what it felt like for me, kind of going through it. What are you playing? What are you playing with your kids?
we play Sushi Go.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
I tried Carcassonne. It's okay. I think we like kids are we played Scrabble a bunch over the
yeah.
holiday. And so they've been big into like word games. It's kind of before bananagrams kind of stuff where you're just spelling words and having
Right.
fun making the crossword. Um,
Boggle? You tried Boggle?
we did, but I'm so good at it. It's like
You kill all the words? Yeah, yeah, they're like,
it's
"Got
not
it,
very
got it, got it,
fun.
got it."
Like
Yeah,
and
got
I don't like let my kids win. Like they have to enjoy developing as humans and acknowledging their shortcomings as little folks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we play chess a little bit. We did play a lot of game right games for a while,
Mm,
but
the Forbidden Island ones.
yeah, game
Yeah.
of life, like they kind of are like, yeah, we play a bunch of things, but we're still at 7 and 10, so they're not like deep down the rabbit hole of like I've gotten them different things that are more complex, but like we haven't gotten into it yet. I
Okay.
brought out the meme the other day and I was like 14 and
Ooh,
up. Like,
yeah.
when are you gonna grow up, dude? Just grow up. I'm so tired of waiting for you to play these interesting
Just
things.
well,
Grow
the danger is you like, if you do it early, you're like, "Oh, you're gonna love this, oh, whatever," and they're like and they once they put up the barrier, like, "That stinks,
yeah,
that's dad's game," they're like, "Oh, no, but it's really good." Like, I was trying to get my kids into Indiana Jones, like, that's something that my kids bounced off
yeah.
really hard, and I don't know if I, like, did it too early or I was hyping it too much, but they're like, 20 minutes in, like, the boulders rolled down, I'm like, "Look at how amazing." They're like, "Turn it off, let's go watch something else." Like, "No." It was funny.
I showed my daughter ET at 3, and, that was incorrect. Like, there's gotta be some better litmus for, like, maybe this is an area where AI can be really helpful, where you're like, "Hey, AI, this is how my child behaves. This is the age that she is. This is her
Fair enough.
developmental loop or whatever. And should we watch ET together? Yeah, it would have done a better job for me, I think. At like rationing out the right level of frightening alien movie. We all think it's adorable and cute as adults, but
Yeah.
to a 3-year-old, it's just torture and a reason to have nightmares and sleep in your bed on your head.
I think that there's some John Krasinski movie about like having kids,
Oh, I saw this.
where they're like, "Oh, we watch The Sound of Music, but we turn it off before the Nazis come." Like so the kids have this view of Sound of Music. Oh, it's so great! It's like music and singing in the Alps, and like they have no idea it's a story about Nazis. Like that, I feel like ET could use that same sort of editing, or even Star Wars for that matter. Just like cut out some of the weirdness in it and just like get it more condensed down.
Yeah, Star Wars scared the hell out of them. They won't watch it now, right? You're like, even Harry Potter was too dark for them.
Open
So,
I mean, I don't, say what you will about the creator, but the books were like really, like my kids like all have learned to read through reading Harry Potter, like because they're so excited about what's coming next that they always get pulled into like reading the next chapter by themselves after like reading with them. Oh, we read the first one together, and the second one we're like usually halfway through, and that's like the takeoff point when they're like, I'm gonna get ahead. I'm not gonna wait for bedtime. I'm gonna learn how to read. That like worked out for us. So Harry Potter was great in the book side for us.
yeah, Harry Potter's pretty great. Yeah, we're
Oh,
still going. Yeah.
on the games, this is bringing back to Magic, The Great Dalmuti, if you've ever played that
Oh,
card game, the
yeah.
Richard
I remember that
Garfield
game.
game. Yeah, that is also
I
pretty
used to
fun
have
with
that.
kids,
Is that
because
still in print?
I think so. They made like a D&D version of it.
Okay.
The cards themselves, at least the ones we got, are like really like they have some beautiful artwork on them, but at some point in time, I think they went from being I'm not sure what the format is, but like a taller, narrower card to like a playing card size one, maybe for printing. But they just moved the numbers onto the images, and so it's like the numbers are hard to read, and it's just like who did this? And it was all probably a cost cutting measure. But anyways, if you can find an older one with the taller cards, it's really good. But it's the same like using numbers and cards together, and there's a lot of strategy in it, and it has a social layer too, which is really good around. If you ever played like the card game, drinking game asshole of like you're the
Yeah.
president, and so you get to call the rule, and like the Dalmuti, you can choose whether or not you can like. I did this last time we played, where I was like giving certain snacks. I was the great Dalmuti, and I was like, here's some chocolate covered peanuts to like the lesser Dalmuti, but no, you peons, you don't get any. Like really hamming it up. It's like in that sort of it's a safe way to show a lot of like tyrannical behaviors and like this is why we have the institutions we have so you don't do this but in like a game format that you know
I feel like you have convinced me I need the Great Damuti just in case the world continues to develop the way it seems to be developing on the news
yeah
anyway.
yeah
Yeah,
like
how
that's
do you
not
feel-
fair, like it's not fair, I'm the Dalmuti.
Yeah, it's never been fair.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm reading about Genghis Khan right now,
Oh.
and life was worse then.
Hmm.
And nothing is fair. Like you have to fight for everything all the time, pretty much, and you're
Yeah.
a threat all the time. And to not be you can never not be under threat. Like you try to make sure you hire the right person to make sure you don't get poisoned. But you, who knows what they're gonna do? They might poison you. Anyone. Um, and so it's interesting. It's not sentimental. We live in a time that's much more wealth was shared for a long time in our epoch, right? So
Yeah.
hopefully that continues and even gets better, because then there would be less reason to hate each other for no real benefit. But
Yeah.
how do you handle technology as a dad? How do you guys,
uh
as parents, yeah,
yeah so
a
it's gotten
jailbroken, the way your smile was like, we just let him do it.
No, no. Well, this is where I mean, it's a classic thing of like my life revolves around technology, and for like a long time, it's still true today that my phone is constantly on me, and it's constantly something I'm looking at. It's a distraction to my life and to their lives, but it's a source of like endless entertainment too. That like it's a magical orb that can summon anything you want, and so it's been tricky when I feel like when we had our first kid, the barriers were a lot higher, like as between like her and technology, like
Hmm.
almost to the point of like I didn't do this, but I joked with friends about like I think it'd be better for me if I went in like the closet to look at my phone than rather than like have her see me look at it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What is it? Not because I'm looking at anything untoward. It's just that the fact that it's capturing my attention, and so like kids are just really good at noticing what's capturing your attention and then wanting to look at that thing because that's what they're trained to do. Like this is human biology at work. So for my eldest too, I think their lure was a lot. We kept it more at bay. But as they got older, of course, then they have to get exposed to it in the ways you do by living in modern society. It's a tool like anything else. But that means the younger ones got exposed much earlier than my older ones did, and so their relationship is a little bit different. Like my son is like super into video games, like loves playing games in ways my older two daughters could like take it or leave it. They enjoy playing when they can, but it's not something that's on their mind when they wake up.
Oh, yeah, they're addicted, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and seeing that behavior in like one of them is like, oh man, like it's really easy to see how this plays out in like a way where like I don't think it'd be good for you to have full access to it. So how do you meter it? And luckily, like at least the Switch has pretty good parental controls around. Like I can, set a finite amount of playtime for a day. And so I think our current sort of metering, and it's all just this arbitrary system of like you get to play once during the week, and then once on the weekend for 30-minute stretch. And so you can choose when you do it, as long as it's not impacting, other stuff that's going on in your life. But that's it. And I think that's like a constant struggle. Because like earlier in their lives, like it's like I could just play games whenever I wanted, and that was something fun and they could watch. But then it became like, oh, we want to play too, and like, now we gotta. This is why we can't have nice things. We got to put limits on it.
Yeah, no, I like your policies. I find the Switch to be pretty great, and like not very scary to have around.
Yeah,
I think the iPad stuffer for sure.
yeah, I know that we don't have an iPad in the house. I think we did it at some point when I was more working on mobile titles. That like and then it just became like, oh, this isn't good for anybody. We also like had like Google Home for a minute, Home Assistant, like maybe for a day, and they were just peppering it with questions and it was coming back stuff. We're like, oh, this is not good. Even though like they were asking like, how do you sing the alphabet, and it sung it back. I'm like there was goodness in it, but at the same time though, it just unlocked this like portal, yeah, and this habit like, all right, we can do without this now. It doesn't mean I want to, I'm not a Luddite, and I don't want them to be Luddites because again, these are tools that are going to help them their life. Like technology is the reason we are here today, talking, across the vast continent. Being able to do the things we do, it's all amazing in that respect. But it also, I think, like there's a cost to it, and there's like there's a learning curve that I imagine it like working on with like a lathe or like a CNC machine or like anything with a even a loom for that matter. You know, you wouldn't just throw your kid out and be like, "Have at it," like go for it. And they're like, "Oh no, they've named themselves on it." Like, and it might not be the physical maiming that's happening, but mentally they're maiming themselves by having this like constant attention device that's like pinging up notifications and getting them to do more. And so like, why would we just have full access to that? Like, you gotta train them. You have to like build it up.
It's a lot like food. Like
Yeah.
food, if it tastes better than food should, you shouldn't eat it. You know what I mean? Like you're like, hey man, just try like an apple or a
Yeah.
strawberry. And if like you eat something that tastes better than that, it's wrong. And I feel like there's the same kind of with
Yeah.
technology. If like the technology, if you want to go back and do something on a technology, it's wrong. I find like vibe coding's like this comes up a little bit, but like
Okay. Okay.
it's like the perfect addiction by and large because you
Mm.
could be working on things in perpetuity and have like an infinite dopamine loop that isn't entirely like TikTok, right? Because you're actually getting somewhere and going somewhere, but it does have like the same addictive, like, oh, I'll have an infinite number of next steps that I could do on
Right.
anything at any time.
Yeah.
And,
Infinite agency to do whatever you want. Like,
it's
but
like both that one's like both great and terrible. Like
yeah.
it's different than like just entertaining yourself, right?
Mm.
I'm like like right now I asked my friend Hi, who's got a successful podcast and other business going. He worked with us at Zynga. He's like, you can just use Claude to build everything you want to automate everything. And I was
Right.
like, all right. So last night I just start like playing around with it. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. And
Yeah.
my marriage is already suffering. It's
Quad
been
fix
half
my
a day.
marriage. Like
It's been a half a day. It's like, oh, I need
Yeah.
to figure out how to balance like this. Yeah, there's so much you can do in this time period if you're willing to have fun with it, and it's like you could be distracted for the rest of your days. And
Yeah.
is yeah, but it's interesting. It's different. I don't think it is like entirely unnutritious. But one thing like I haven't heard discussed a lot is there's some kind of like AI brain. Like it's serious. I don't want to disparage because I like everyone, but
Yeah, yeah.
the more people used AI and got used to this pace of like getting
Mm,
feedback
mm.
very quickly and wanting the world to move as fast as the AI did, it became harder to interact with some folks. You're like, they just were so used to trying to power through AI workflows and just prevail that you can no longer talk to them without it being like the human was impaired somewhat. And that'll be really interesting to see too.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if you've seen that in your own life, but I felt it last night. My wife, I had to be like, oh, I am a human. You are a human. Let me restart. Like, have you experienced this with any humans?
No, not directly. I mean, Katie likes her phrasing of the moment is her catchphrase maybe is like, "This is enough," and I think like that's
Ooh, that's really useful.
yeah, and this is where like we're not in Genghis Khan times, so it's not like we're struggling to figure out where our next shelter is or our next food is coming from. Like our caloric intake is good, and we have a roof over our head, and like that's enough. Uh, do I need do I need an automated way to message my subscribers that I've done a new podcast, through email? Like, it'd take you an hour to do, but Claude can do it in 5 minutes, or set something up to do it indefinitely every time you want to do it. Like, is that enough? I don't know. Like, if it's in this world we live in, it feels like it's not. But like, that's a question I feel. Well, it's what Katie would say. I'm just paraphrasing. She would just like that's a question you can continue to ask yourself. But like, when you're using this thing that has an infinite capacity to do things, like when is it enough, and is it enough where you are now, and like kind of having that gut check. I think a lot of us won't do that. I mean, I don't do it.
No, I mean, you just burn out when you like can't stop. You can't like if you could buy code from your phone, which I know you can do,
Mhm.
and you could just build anything anytime.
Yeah.
Like you basically have to you have to get to migraines and like vertigo before you would stop, right? Like your body has to tell you
It's
to stop
enough.
going. Your doctors have to tell you it's enough, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure we'll be fine.
We'll live through it.
Yeah, we've lived through worse.
Mm.
Oh, what? No,
Yeah. Humans are
that was good.
capable of infinite suffering. No, I don't know. I do think that like I don't know to bring it back to like technology and like children. Like I look forward to seeing what they do with it. Like I look forward to like the you ever have like a Saturday or Sunday where you wake up and like for me, like I drink too much coffee, but it feels like the world is like, oh man, I could do anything. Like it's that like feeling of like, yeah. Like sometimes when I crack open like a fresh blank Word doc or whatever it is, an editor window, IDE window, like it's like, oh man, this feels really exciting that like the world is at your fingertips, but it's also the dauntingness of the blank page that like if AI helps my kids get past that to like the start of the next thing or to help them build cool things, like that's all gravy. It's all good. It'll be enough for them.
Yeah, you one thing that all of this conversation has triggered for me is that in America we can all carry guns. There are laws around it a little bit, but like now that we can vibe code our own weapons,
Mm-mm.
that could be really interesting. Like I hadn't thought of it before, but like
This is
America,
me.
just
This is
because of
me.
you, I look at you and I think this is an angel glowing, and I look at me and I'm like, that's angel of death. Not that's not what I think, but it is fun to say.
Uh,
Yeah, no, I'm like, wow, like humans could do all kinds of crazy things. They'll
yeah,
probably figure that out. Man, that's going to be something, huh? I
yeah,
sure wish we had like a responsible couple of entities to care about the people that lived on the planets.
and I think we might. I hope. I like
Oh, yeah.
this is the burden I think of having kids is you have to hope for a better future.
I
Um,
feel like this is a good family feud opportunity where like, 100 respondents,
oh yeah.
uh, have said, like, what's the future of like,
Mm.
what's the population going to be like in 50 years?
Yeah,
And
yeah. Ding, ding. Uh, be a lot of buzzers, I think.
oh yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of us.
a lot of
Like,
buzzers.
no, that's no longer possible in 50
Yeah,
years.
I'm sorry.
Oh
Uh,
man,
yeah.
what have we done?
What
How
hap
have you liked Baltimore? You've been there a long time now. Like,
Yeah,
do you like it?
I
Because
do.
you live there, and if you don't say you like it, it's wrong. I'm just gonna
Yeah, well, this is
make
like
sure
a
to safeguard the conversation.
yeah. I would struggle to understand people that live in a place for as long as I have and be like, "No, I dislike it here." They're like, "Oh, I don't like," because all right, well, move.
Mhm.
But Baltimore is like has its quirky charm. It's very affordable city for being as close to all the major hubs. Um, I like my little neighborhood quite a lot. It's like Hamden is one of those classically quirky neighborhoods within Baltimore. There's like a comic book shop walkable, or comic books is not exactly a comic book shop, but they sell comics. Um, yeah, and like I think it's got everything we need. The schools are pretty good, and
Yeah.
got a little, and like we built a little community here, so I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. But I'll
Yeah.
preface that by saying, like, I think we can do this anywhere. At least, caveat with places where, we have access to food and shelter and whatever. We're not going to go live on Antarctica. But like, I think that's one of the things that, uh, it's sort of the truth of it is that I think even though we're, terrible at times, humans are pretty good at coming together and making sure we have. And again, it's not equally spread and there's definitely holes in what we do. But like, for the most part, the fact that we have functioning cities is just a miracle every day that, like, I don't know, somebody comes and collects my trash. That's amazing. Like, and we've built structures
Yeah.
that support that. And like, even as parts of the world can crumble, like, oh, somebody still comes and gets my trash. Like, hey, when I poop, it goes away from my house. It doesn't just pile up in a corner somewhere. It just gets, whoosh, and like that's pretty incredible. I don't have to dig a hole every time, it's one fills up. It's so there's just this like little appreciations
Yeah.
that I feel like, you know, not unique to Baltimore, but that like that it has a space.
Yeah, have not been so bad, and they have increasingly figured out how to do things better for the most part, and they probably will again. I am like optimistic in the same way that you are, despite playing devil's advocate, because devil's advocate is more fun. Like
Yeah,
no one plays angel's advocate ever. Like that's not
no,
a thing
no.
anyone does, right?
No, you're almost a professional podcaster now. You've got to live on the edge of risque content because if you're not there, then the eyeballs go elsewhere. You got to live on
Yeah,
that just to be on
I
the line.
whenever anyone's like, "I'm coming on, what is it gonna be like?" And it's like, we just talk to each other and enjoy it. If we don't enjoy the conversation, we have messed up. Like,
Okay.
I like, if we don't enjoy it, I guarantee no one else will enjoy it.
That's
Like,
that's a good way to put
okay.
it. Yeah, yeah.
If you're like I listen to like different podcasts, not
Mm,
because I want to, but because friends are doing them and I feel obligated for a time. Um, and they're usually pretty good. Some of them are like pretty entertaining, but sometimes they're like really dry and informational. And you're like, this
yeah.
is great for the people who want information, but like dance monkey. And so on this podcast, we dance.
Oh, we're dancing. We're
And
dancing.
we are, we are dancing. Yeah.
No,
Like,
Baltimore's great. Yeah. I mean, you've been in the Bay Area now. Like did
mhm.
you feel like that's your home, forever home?
Yeah. I live in Marin now, and
Marin.
Marin is a place that is much better than I expected it to be. So it's like, I don't know why I would ever leave unless it burns down or like it's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
It's got more of a creative vibe than you would expect,
Okay.
especially like if you're closer to the city, you have like more affluence. But when you go more north of the city, sorry, if you like, yeah, more north of that area, you end up having a lot of people who worked at like Industrial Light and Magic,
Oh, cool.
Lucas,
Yeah,
Skywalker
yeah, yeah.
Ranch, Pixar, 2K. There's a whole bunch of different creative people because music was really big here. A lot of the rock stars of your live here, so it's like it has a great creative undertone. Um, so it's been much better than my perception of Marin was that it would be kind of like Stepford Wivesy, and it's actually been quite wonderful. So like, yeah, the weather's good. It's like there's nature everywhere. No one bothers me. I don't know. It's awesome. I think it's the best.
Nice.
So I'm not moving until I'm like the
Forced
kids
to
are
move.
gone.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and even then, I'm like, there'll be like one more move, go to like San Diego or something, or depending on how the world is, you
yeah.
know,
Well, yeah,
somewhere else. But
good.
yeah, it's life is good. There's like for the longest time, there's this like wanderlust, right? And in games in
Yeah,
particular, you
yeah.
can like travel anywhere. Like
Mhm.
I was talking to Ben Sec. He's like travel the world, and I think that's
Yes.
one of the benefits of working in the industry. But like now, I'm not going to do that. Like I don't care where anyone like. There's no reason to leave.
Yeah, I mean, you put down roots, it's just hard to go. It does feel like that for Baltimore, that's for us. We'll see, I don't know. I've been playing all over the world, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun to see what you do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Well, cool. Any last questions, Josh? Come on.
Uh, I felt like I had one, but no, that's on the tip of my tongue. No, I don't. This has been fun.
It is fun. It's always fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like I guess the thing I would end on is like the McNulty question from The Wire, where Rawls is like, "Where don't you want to go?" So, like, of all the
Uh,
things you've done in games,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what don't you want to do again? And I'm not like
Ooh.
Captain Rawls, so I can't make you do that job.
Yeah, yeah.
But I am kind of curious. Like, you're like, what's the one thing in games? Ever like you people like they're like, what do I do in games? And you should say like what you should definitely not do in games. What should
Yeah.
you definitely not do again? I know mine. I can go
Don't
first.
throw me in the briar patch. Yeah, you go first.
So when I got to Wizards of the Coast, they still had um tournaments on ESPN. And so one of my first jobs was to take the tape of a Pro Tour or World Championship and write the script for that. And it was
Oh.
excruciating. Like
Yeah?
it was excruciating. You had to go back and forth and time the lines
Did
perfectly.
you have a
And
scrubber? Like, tools or anything? Like, I had a foot pedal one time when I
no,
was doing dictation, and it felt like I could never do that without it.
no, it
No.
was
Okay.
me manually going back and forth and saying everything. And
Was this on
that
a
was
like, a
probably,
VHS thing? Are you hitting, like,
yeah,
rewind? Oh, wow.
this is back in the VHS days. So that ended up being like the least joyful thing I think I've ever done in
Mm.
games. But having worked on like episode and choices and the Netflix games, like I was on TV first. I have a writing credit for TV,
Oh, wow.
and
Never
all
wrote
these
in
like
TV.
actually great writers like that
Yeah.
are working in this weird time making these interactive story games. I was there first. That's all I'm saying. But it was the worst. It was like they're lucky that their
Yeah,
dreams
yeah.
haven't come true, in my opinion. But what
Uh
about you? You've had time.
Yes, I have time. Thank you for the time. I worked as a balance tester on an RTS game, like Age of Empires 3, the Asian Dynasties. It's like a second expansion pack for Age of Empires 3. Uh, and while I was trying to do the best job I could, just wasn't up for it. Like I could not play the game well enough to be a competitive
Yeah,
balance tester. And I feel like even though I've convinced, I've got a credit that says that, and in my mind, and I can be really competitive in games. I'm good at games. I'm good. I can. Uh, I could never go back to that. Like it just would be impossible to do. Um, and it would be frustrating and impossible. And the people that play these games now are so much better. And even now, like with the advent of sort of the technology we could use to harness it, like the way we were going about testing, was just like we would just play a lot of games. Like
yeah,
there was a method beyond that, but it wasn't much more than just playing a lot of games. And how do you
yeah.
feel? How did this go? It's like that feels in the day and age today like it just wouldn't work anymore, and I couldn't do it. Can't go back there.
Okay. Yeah, you described pretty much my job at Wizards too. That's part of it. So
Yeah.
I can relate. You can't go back. You
No.
can't go home again. Thankfully.
Yeah.
Well, you've just closed yourself off to that specific job type
Yeah.
across the globe.
Balance test. I still play a lot of League of Legends, but hire me, Riot, for no. God, that would be so out of my depth. It'd be gross.
I mean, AI should be helping with that soon.
I think they
One
are.
would hope. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's right. That's one area where like AI is saving us.
Oh yeah, please, yeah, do it.
Yeah,
Although
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
I read something about like math and design and like how, while it can be good, it should like it always kind of the games that are designed with really mathy, they're the balanced aren't fun. And like and that's the sort of the fear I have about utilizing these tools is like, oh, we just sort of like average our way into something that's like balanced, but again, not fun. Um but yeah, I know you're trying to exit here. I'm bringing up new stuff.
no, no, it's all right. No, you're fine. I shuffle
Oh yeah, yeah.
cards.
No, I have a deck of cards
Uh,
from you that you sent.
that is
Mhm.
true. I hope that they are useful to you. I do it mostly to stay focused. Although it keeps me from being distracted
All right, I'm distracted by
because the internet is infinitely interesting,
yeah.
and you are infinitely interesting. But like, there's
Mhm.
two infinities, and so I'm not ignoring you. I'm just shuffling.
All right.
Um, and I'm not going to cut this out because I'm lazy.
Yeah. It's all in there. All right, to
It's
recap.
all in there. Yes. Well, it's great to see you. I'm excited to
You
hear.
too.
Yeah.
8 years ago. That's a long time ago. But ever since then, I've just kept it up. And it's something that I feel it like, I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or because the world's depressing. If I don't,
Oh yeah.
my brain chemistry gets sour and I've got to like, rely on something else to get me through the day. So running's good for that.
You've motivated me to go exercise right after
Do
this
it,
call.
yeah. I think it's a really cheap way to get, your brain in the right spot, at least for me. I don't know how
Oh
everybody
yeah.
is, but yeah, like, there's plenty of other drugs you can take, but it's so expensive.
Yeah. Moving on the earth is really good for you. Period.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. Go walk the earth,
And,
Brian.
all right, everyone listening, go walk the earth. Get off
Yeah,
your computer or
yeah,
whatever you're doing.
yeah.
And if you're already walking, walk 2 times as long.
Yeah. Enjoy yourself out there, and again, thank you so much for writing the book. It was, both illuminating for me and a really fun read, and I hope more people,
I
pick it up.
appreciate that. Yeah, it's funny. You're much better at marketing it than I am.
Whatever,
I
you're
rarely.
doing this we're here doing it, this go get alternate worlds, it's amazing. Uh
Wow, I need you on regularly. Could you just start with that? Let's have like a little clip. Like,
Boop.
please
Uh,
God, buy the thing. Where
uh,
is it up? Is it up on like? I submitted it for audio and it for the audiobook and
yeah,
it says it takes 10 days.
10 days.
It typically takes 10 days to
Mhm.
review, but it's been 13 days now.
Oh, get
And
on it.
yeah, seriously, Amazon. I think
Come on.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Listen to it, read it, edit it, and send Brian your you missed a period here. I think this isn't the right place to use a semicolon. He loves that stuff. All the
I
petty
do,
things you
yeah.
can do.
E
Yeah. Yeah.
especially in the, audiobook versions,
Oh, yeah, exactly.
so much easier to change. Uh,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you would be good at reading audiobooks. You have a good reading
I
voice. Oh, yeah.
I don't know, I know you're just being kind to me, but,
No,
I
not really.
I learned this only in my, like, adult life with my kids. I'm fairly dyslexic, uh,
Oh, I didn't
but
know that.
in my own head, like, it doesn't like, I parse it mostly correctly, and for the most part, you don't really need to read everything anyway, so it all sort of scrambles. But when I've been reading to my kids, I've gotta, like, really think about it in ways that I don't when I'm reading for myself, where, like, I'll, pull words in from other sentences and mix the order up, but, it only comes out when I had to, like, was like, "Oh, like, I'm reading this." The kids would, like, start correcting me once they learned how to read, and I'm like, "Oh, oh, no. I do this. Oh, wow." Um,
I think I think that happens to all of us, but yeah.
so
Like, there is a point at which you realize you're going to be lapped
yeah. Yep.
by it,
Yeah.
and that's totally yes.
Yeah. I'm standing by whatever line that is, waving to them as they go by, right? I think I've
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, well,
Th Yeah.
yeah.
Alright,
Well,
I'm going to take a walk
go, yeah,
for
do
your
that, and I will
instruction.
yeah. I'm gonna go, I'm probably gonna play some chess.
Wow.
Yeah,
A true gaming death.
it's right here on
Alright.
my phone. Alright. See you, Brian. It's a pleasure.
Farewell, good sir. Likewise.
Bye.